I think you said it last year.
The Open Meetings Act is posted on the wall. Roll call.
Holly.
Here.
Buckminster.
Here.
Rod.
Here.
Wisdom.
Here.
Ferguson.
Here.
Ratcliffe.
Here.
Foraker. Here. Layden.
Here.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks, Brian.
I don't have no mayor's report. City administrator's report.
Just a few things. This week kicks off Dispatcher Appreciation Week. So that's national recognized that we do that for our dispatchers that deal with all those high stress situations. So if you see them, give them a little thank you. Other than that, projects that are moving along, you see 14th Street or East 14th, or excuse me, West 14th. Between Harlan and Stone is moving along. We got our demo done. And then Constructors is on site this week to start the rest of the demos that are out there. And then we'll be boring along on the electrical coming up down the residential from the plant. So the PDC got delivered, which is the power distribution center, and that was set on this foundation last week. So that's kind of the start or the 2 contracts for that work. That'll be IES that comes in and finishes that out, and then what Watts is doing for the underground will then tie into that PDC. So there'll be a lot moving down in the southwest side of town.
Good for us. Good for us.
Thank you. I guess there's no chief here, so no report. The consent agenda, we have minutes approval, April 1st, 2024, agenda approval, claims approval for March 30th, 2024 through April 12th. Treasurer's report, consent agenda.
Motion to approve.
All vote.
All yes?
No old business, move on to new. I've got a public hearing, consideration for a conditional permit for a freestanding solar panel system at 2103 Morgan Street. Hearing open.
All right, so this is for Keith and Thelma Hayes. They're putting in I think a 24.4 kilowatt unit, which is maximum size pretty much that you can get in, is a 25 kilowatt unit. This will be the first, I think, ground mount system that we'll have. We have quite a few roof mount systems in town. It just went through planning commission through that hearing stage and essentially goes into a second hearing stage now. So it is conditionally or allowed through a conditional permit for that area.
Any comments? Hearing closed then?
Yep.
Number 2, discussion and action, conditional permit for a freestanding solar panel system at 1103 Morgan Street as recommended by the Planning and Zoning Commission. Keith and Thelma Hayes.
Motion to approve. I think it's a great idea. Hope we see more of them.
All yeas?
3, discussion and action, resolution for a disposition of vacant lots at 820 McLean and 1704 Morton.
All right. These 2 lots are ones that the city performed abatement on, and then obtained one through tax sale or sheriff sale, not a tax sale, sorry, the sheriff sale. Bought it back for our lien amounts, and then that was the 1704 Morton property. The 820 McLean, the city ended up negotiating that to be purchased from the homeowner. They provided us, I think it was $4,000. and gave us the property, and then we ended up demoing that out and owning that property. So essentially, there are 2 vacant lots now. They've been demoed, reseeded. Rather than the city mow them, ideally they would go then to the land bank, which is why we formed that land bank to hold those properties for redevelopment. So the resolution is written in consideration of essentially land bank taking on the cost to do the title transfer or do the deed transfer, title insurance, whatever they need to get done for that. And essentially there's no other compensation requirements or compensation received for the city. So we do have, costs into those abatements and dealing with those things, but the cost of those are gonna exceed what the land bank can get back out of it. So ideally, the city hands those over, lets the land bank manage those, redevelop them, and then get it, ideally taxable value back on those properties. Any questions with any of that?
Motion to approve.
Second.
No vote.
All right. 8 yeas?
Review of Ed's first quarter report 2024. Lucas.
Lucas Rushel, Fall City Edge. Couple of projects that we've submitted, a couple of projects that the state has invited us to participate in. A little preliminary to give details on those, but a couple of job creating projects that if we progress through this, hopefully we'll be able to report a little more later. The Mid-America Rail Campus is the speculative rail site that's down south. We branded it Mid-America Rail Campus, created a microsite and a logo, and finalized the 100-page diligence report. It's on the website there. You can view all that. Again, this is 100%, speculative, just trying to stay in the game, if you will, on an industrial site for future prosperity of the area. We held some on-site visits with Fast Global Solutions and Fall City Foods. They both went really well. The Fall City Foods district manager said that they would love to expand in Fall City if we had the workforce. Of their 3 kind of satellite businesses that do the meat protein processing, Fall City's wages are some of the highest. And even despite that, they still would like to, expand in Fall City if we had the workforce. So kind of doubles down on some of our housing things that we're trying to do. I'll keep reporting on the North Commercial Corridor. We've built a road out there. High interest rates are maybe not the best market for investors, but we hope that changes. And again, we're in the game. We got some commercial land that we can sell for that next potential prospect that's interested in it. We did submit the application to the Nebraska Department of Economic Development for the electrical infrastructure, resilience, and reliability. That links back to the rail site. Thank you for your support on that. The last couple months as we continue to work for the best option for Fall City. We were awarded a $50,000 technical assistance grant through the Federal Department of Energy's National Renewable Energy Lab. It's branded the Cohort 2 for Local Energy Action Program. So this is all about federal government recognizes that we're a burdened community with electricity. So we're looking to capitalize on that designation, create momentum with it. This is kind of the first phase of, maybe we design some sort of solar battery, microgrid that we can plug into our power plant. This is the first phase of kind of getting access to engineers that could help us engineer this. Not saying this could ever happen, but the next phase is to then apply to the federal government to actually build the infrastructure of it. Millions of dollars of grants that are available through the federal government for energy burdened communities. So if they're going to give us that designation, let's roll with it. Let's see what we can do with it. So that's the focus there. It's an 18-month cohort with 29 other communities that we'll meet with and share ideas with and bounce engineer feedback off of. So excited to kind of get into that. The mainline utility and street locations at North Commercial Corridor, that's being installed. It'll be a 30% engineering thing. Again, just trying to get to the next step on that. we'll be better prepared for the next prospect that is interested in buying land out there. Wilderness Falls 3, moving right along south of the hospital. Units could be available for rent here in the next couple months. So excited to see what 16 new units will do for our housing market in Falls City. Talking to a couple of the realtors the last couple of weeks, there's nothing. There's nothing available out there. Those properties that were available the last couple of months have contracts pending, and I think the real estate agents are, they're hungry to have something to sell. So ideally, someone in Falls City maybe moves out of their house and into one of those, and it frees up hopefully a home for a workforce family. We continue collecting bids to build the workforce housing. That's the Rural Workforce Housing Fund project. We've got a couple pieces of land through the land bank identified where we could build what the housing board suggested as a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, 2-car garage. Try to make it as affordable as possible for the local market. The Southeast Nebraska Land Bank, we did purchase our first property, and we're working to close on 3 others. One of those was a $1 house that's next door to a city-owned lot, and so one of those has been now, I guess, deeded to the land bank. So hopefully we'll have a developable area there, and we'll soon be putting out bids for lawn mowing. So if there's any high schoolers out there that are getting in the lawn mowing business and want a volume account, reach out to the land bank. This is not an endorsement by Edge, just simply reporting that the Nebraska Economic Developers Association opposes the EPIC tax legislation. We launched a community education campaign to better inform the citizens of Edge's role and function for the community. It's kind of designed to recruit some of the maybe young entrepreneurs, young families to help continue our mission. Partnering with Community Medical Center on a child care center project. I think you guys have seen maybe some announcements recently. It's a really worthwhile project that the Community Medical Center is undertaking here to provide child care service for the working families. It's all a part of the economic development system. If there's no child care available, there's no workforce for the industrial park, for the schools, for the hospital. So the hospital is championing that, and I'm very excited about it.
Sounds like it.
And we'll work on some new member recruitment, through to strengthen the private memberships at Edge. That's all I got.
Thank you, Lucas.
Well, that's the end of the agenda.
We're